Play as much as you can. Play as much as you can against the best competition you can. Find different coaches from different areas, get a different flavour for basketball. Every coach has got their own little twist on it, so play as much as you can.
Don't let anybody tell you that you can't. That's the first thing. So it's always good to have other interests and other passions and, working hard in school, and that is really important, but don't let anybody tell you that it's not an avenue that you can pursue, because it is.
After 3 appearances at the WBBL Cup final, the Nottingham Wildcats finally won. An electric atmosphere helped the Wildcats' victory as the fans showed their love for basketball.
Being here so many times, like Coach said, and losing, I can't explain how that feels, that every time you step onto the floor and all the fire goes up and all the rest of it, and you really try to put it to the back of your mind, but it is still there. So it just feels amazing to actually finally get this one, and it's nice because all of our mini ballers were there as well, so all of our younger players in the stands, and just for them to see that, I just feel really proud.
This win does more than benefit the fellow players on the court. It will help the development of basketball in Nottingham.
I think it just proves that Nottingham has got a lot more to offer than what people first think. There's a lot more talent in the area. It's about time that we actually showcased all the different sports and not just the usuals.
According to Sport England, there are more than 200,000 children playing basketball every week. Children are showing a big interest in playing the sport.
It's good, I like the sport.
Just this year actually was a club opened up in our school after school.
I started because it was a really energetic sport, and I've seen basketball games before, and I thought that it looked really cool.
I like basketball, netball, and it would be really fun for me to actually grow up and be a basketball player.
It was something to do with my friends and something to more social and to up my teamwork skills and stuff like that.
Being around people, the fun of it, I like the competitive side of it. It's not a girls' sport normally, it's not a boys' sport, but girls can be just as good as boys can.
I love the fact that you can be competitive with your friends, so whenever there's a game, you have a competition, but you know that person is obviously your friend and your good friend.
The captain of the Nottingham Wildcats says basketball is becoming more accessible.
It's getting easier, so that's a positive thing. There's a lot more growth in women's basketball in England. When I was younger, it wasn't a thing that you did really. No one played it at school. And if people played it, like you said, it's like a boys' game. Girls didn't really play; they played netball. So it's been a bit of a challenge to get more women playing, but I feel like it's getting a lot easier now. So it's easier than it used to be.
But the UK still doesn't consider it a British sport. When you compare basketball to football, football draws more attention.
I think it's kind of natural because football is, I think, one of the biggest sport on the globe. No matter what country you go to, everybody plays football. It's easy, isn't it? You just grab a ball in the street, put 2 t-shirts down and off you go, you can play. It does take away a little bit from other sports, but I guess we're just used to it, and I think for us it's more kind of just trying to focus on those sports that are like basketball and that get that middle kind of coverage, and just trying to push it to the forefront of those sports first and foremost before we even try and tackle the football and those kind of games.
Same as any other kid when I was at school, we got told it's either football, cricket or rugby, or a bit of tennis in the summer if you're lucky. And we didn't really like that, so we opted for a fifth option, as it were, So we asked our PE teachers and whatnot if we could do something that wasn't normal. So luckily we had a PE teacher called Matt Walker who brought in basketball. And that's how I got to play, and I'm hoping that there's players of my age that have gone back to work in secondary schools that can introduce players, new players, to basketball. But in the meantime, you are right, people are getting force-fed rugby, football, cricket, just because they're on the doorstep all day, every day.
Not only it draws less attention than other British sports, there are more challenges in developing British basketball.
The trouble is, with basketball in England, you have to know where to find it. It's not easily accessible. I mean, for example, Nottingham, when we got this basketball centre, we're really lucky. Manchester, same. London, there's courts everywhere. But unfortunately, not everywhere has that accessibility up and down the country.
I didn't realise our local port had basketball. Let's give it a go. So we're trying to campaign around that, but we need local authorities to think about doing makeovers with us. We couldn't afford to do it all ourselves.
There is not that many role models. There's not that many, facilities available for people to do, to train for basketball. And I think the awareness needs to be a little bit more, and the facilities should be a little bit more available. Therefore, will allow a lot of kids and a lot of adults and women, especially, to participate.
Since 2014, instead of giving more money to develop basketball, UK Sport decided to cut its Olympic funding.
The funding is key, and it's all medal based, isn't it? So we can't win medals unless there's funding. But they're willing to put X amount of money into equestrian and yachting and all these things that kids that live in this area can't access. And it makes no sense to me why you wouldn't put funding into something that is just so highly popular, And we have the same infrastructure as like France or Spain. We're a similar sized country with similar population. There's no reason we shouldn't be on their same level competitively.
There's been a lot of profile in national media about the plight of the GB teams at the moment, and it's caught between these kind of funding policies really. I think it's well known that UK Sport funds sports that have got potential to win an Olympic medal. At the moment, basketball isn't on that trajectory. But in the last 18 months, we've been working on upgrading the technical rigour in the game. So looking at improving how we improve coaching, how we improve people's training regimes, looking at making officiating more accessible and change the way we may let the games run, let it flow, game management from an official's point of view. So there's loads of ways we're looking at making the game more attractive for people to get involved.
But even while facing funding challenges, there are organizations working hard to promote basketball in the UK.
Well, our campaign is Falcons All Star. We are a team nationwide. We go to all schools, trying to encourage children to participate in sports. Through my campaign, I will be encouraging children to play basketball. And again, like I said, I am really removing all the barriers for anybody that might have that thing that, I can't go and play because I've got this restriction. By us going out to them and showing them that how important sports is and how important it is for these children.
The Nottingham Wildcats are one of the most successful women's basketball clubs in the UK. They are helping more kids jump into the sport.
Just to get women into sport, girls into sport, and that's what this club's all about. Wildcats, it's an all-girls club. So we just want to get as many girls here, and it's funny because we were just saying there's some girls, they turned up in netball skirts. We know they've never played basketball before, and that's great. That's exactly what we want to see.
The Wildcats have done a great job here. I mean, it's a facility owning club. I think it's the forerunner in Britain really of a basketball club finding a way of generating its own facilities, owning them, running them, and having exclusive use for basketball.
To do more, the CEO of Basketball England says getting youngsters playing basketball is the first hurdle to increasing participation.
In terms of people involved, it's a considerable number, but the key thing is to retain them for longer. So we've got quite a churn rate in the fact that people get into the game, they enjoy it for a few years as a youngster, and then they might drop off. So I think the connection that we want to make stronger is the connection between the school and the club, or the college and the club. I think the Wildcats is a good example. So that people can do the studies and play basketball, so they don't actually impact on each other. So that's a really good example of a club just innovating and thinking about how to get girls involved in the game and keep them in the game.
It's not just about getting young people playing the sport. Supporters say they can benefit from basketball.
But we want to encourage them to participate in any sports because right now children are suffering with all sorts of stress, anxiety, due to all, them not being able to release their frustration. And I think sports is a very, very good way of allowing children to release that stress and energy through playing. So when they are in classrooms and that, they're a lot more calmer and be able to concentrate what they need to.
We love basketball and we love people to focus on basketball, but sport, it's really about the holistic idea. And the fact is that sport can get you to so many places that maybe if you weren't playing sport, you'd never have the chance to go. So things like university or even secondary schools now, they have special basketball programs. There's so many different opportunities that basketball and sport can give you. And it's kind of, I don't think girls and boys, I don't think young people know that. They just see the sport and that's all they do. But there's so many avenues away from it. It's important that they know that.
As the statistics show, thousands of people in the UK enjoy basketball. And although the sport is slow to develop, The passion of those who love the game and the determination of those who play it give it hope for the future.